Congress returns to work after a 5-week vacation. Well, that sounds nice. 5 weeks. Now, while it's unlikely that lawmakers will tackle the fiscal cliff, you're going to hear a lot about it.
Here to explain the fiscal cliff and how it could impact your pocketbook is Jill Schlesinger from CBSMoneyWatch.com. She's up in New York for us. Hi, Jill. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
So what is the fiscal cliff?
I just want to start by saying I'm doing this segment because my mother wanted me to explain this to her, and I said, well, if mom doesn't understand it, no one else does.
There you go.
So the fiscal cliff is the combination of tax increases and spending cuts that are scheduled to go into effect January of next year. On the tax side, we've got the Bush-era tax cuts. They're going to expire. That brings us the tax system back to 2001 levels. Then on top of that, we've got President Obama's temporary cuts. That included the 2% payroll tax cut holiday and the very popular earned income credit. Both will expire. Now, check this out. It's estimated that 80% of Americans are going to see some kind of tax increase next year if nothing happens. The Bush tax cuts alone impact 100 million taxpayers. Tax Policy Center estimates that the average household is going to face a $3,700 jump in taxes. That catch your attention, Yuki?
Oh, did it?
No
I'm like
kidding.
sitting over rubbing my temples. Oh, my.
Well, so much for tax increases.
Wow.
How about those spending cuts? How did they come about?
Remember the whole debt ceiling deal that was last summer, a year ago over the summer? It created the Deficit Reduction Super Committee. Super, it was really super. They were supposed to address the country's $15 trillion debt. Now, the Super Committee failed, and when that happened, a congressional mandate triggered an automatic $1.2 trillion in cuts over the next 10 years. Half from domestic spending, including a 2% cut in Medicare. Other half comes from the Pentagon. The first $110 billion in cuts are scheduled to start January 2013. I should note, Social Security, Medicaid, the Children's Health Insurance Plan, food stamp program, veterans benefits, they are spared from the cuts.
Hey, Jill, before we roll, how do you think the cliff will affect the economy and the jobs market?
Well, this is why they call it the cliff, my friend. Unfortunately, this is scary. The CBO said we would likely slide into a recession as a result of the tax increases and the spending cuts. The economy due to shrink by 0.5% for the year. The fiscal cliff also would likely increase the nation's unemployment rate by a full percentage point from 8.1 where we are now to 9.1%. So if Congress doesn't do anything, big trouble. That's why it's called the fiscal cliff. On MoneyWatch.com, in honor of my mom, we have an in-depth Q&A on the fiscal cliff.
We appreciate the cliff notes. Thank you.
That's
Thank you, Jill.
good.
All right. Have a good day.
Jill.
Talk to you later.